There comes a moment in your life when love stops feeling urgent and starts feeling inevitable, not because someone arrived, but because something inside you shifted. You begin to notice quiet changes. Loneliness doesn't sting the same way. The memories no longer ache, they teach. The waiting doesn't feel like punishment anymore. It feels purposeful. And that's when the signs begin. Not loud, not dramatic, but unmistakable. God doesn't rush love. He prepares it. He prepares you. He prepares them. And he prepares the timing in ways the human heart could never orchestrate on its own. If you've been feeling emotionally stripped down, detached from what once consumed you, more protective of your peace, more honest with yourself than ever before, this isn't a loss. When everything starts falling apart, but your soul knows why. When God begins preparing the love you prayed for, the first thing that happens is not arrival, it is removal. This is the stage that feels confusing, unfair, and deeply unsettling. Suddenly, what once felt stable begins to shake, connections fade without explanation. Conversations feel hollow, situations that once gave you comfort no longer fit. This is alignment. This is the space where love is being shaped, not just to arrive, but to last. And if you're seeing these signs now, it may be because the love you prayed for is closer than you think. And the hardest part is that none of it feels dramatic enough to justify the ache. It just feels quietly wrong. This is not destruction. This is refinement. God does not add new love on top of emotional clutter. He clears the space first. He removes the attachments that would dilute what is coming. And often, he does this without warning, because if he explained it, you might resist it. And the hardest part is that none of it feels dramatic enough to justify the ache. It just feels quietly wrong. This is not destruction. This is refinement. God does not add new love on top of emotional clutter. He clears the space first. He removes the attachments that would dilute what is coming. And often, he does this without warning, because if he explained it, you might resist it. You may notice people drifting away naturally, not through conflict, but through silence. You stop reaching out, they stop trying. And there's no anger, just distance. That distance is sacred. It is creating room for alignment. Old habits lose their grip. You no longer tolerate emotional inconsistency. You feel uncomfortable settling. What once felt acceptable now feels heavy. And this shift doesn't come from bitterness. It comes from growth. This is the moment when your soul outgrows what your heart once begged for. God removes distractions because love that is meant to last cannot enter a life filled with emotional residue. He pulls away what would compete with the depth of what's coming. And although it feels like loss, it is actually protection. You may grieve versions of yourself during this stage, the one who waited, the one who hoped, the one who tried harder than necessary. But this grief is healing. It is the shedding of an old identity that could not carry the weight of real love. What hurts most is not what leaves. It's realizing how long you stayed where you weren't meant to remain. If everything feels unstable right now, it's because stability is being redefined. God is teaching you that peace is not found in familiarity, it's found in truth. And once the false comfort is removed, the right love has space to arrive. 2. Your intuition sharpens before truth reveals itself. One of the clearest signs God is preparing love is the quiet awakening of your intuition. You start sensing truth before it's spoken. You feel clarity before proof arrives, and what once confused you now feels obvious, almost painfully so. This isn't a coincidence. This is spiritual alignment. God strengthens your intuition before sending love because recognition matters more than attraction. He doesn't want you choosing from loneliness. He wants you choosing from awareness. You begin trusting your inner voice again. That feeling you used to ignore, you listen now. That discomfort you once explained away, you respect it. You stop romanticizing mixed signals. You stop justifying emotional inconsistency, and without anyone teaching you, your discernment becomes sharper. This stage can feel isolating because you see things others don't. You notice energy shifts, you feel intentions behind words, and sometimes you outgrow people silently. Not because they did something wrong, but because you've become emotionally fluent. Your intuition isn't making you paranoid, it's making you prepared. God heals your perception so you don't repeat old cycles. He removes the emotional blindness that once led you to chase, wait, or overextend. And as this clarity strengthens, chaos loses its appeal. You crave peace more than intensity now. You no longer feel drawn to emotional highs followed by emptiness. You want steadiness. You want sincerity. You want safety that doesn't need constant reassurance. This is how God prepares you to recognize the right love, not by signs in the sky, but by peace in your body. When love arrives, you won't question it. You won't analyze it to death. Your intuition will be calm, not anxious, familiar, not overwhelming. And if your intuition feels louder than ever, it's because your soul is being trained to recognize what aligns and walk away from what doesn't. 3. You stop fearing aloneness and start honoring yourself. There is a powerful shift that happens when God prepares love. Loneliness loses its control over you. You still desire connection, but you no longer fear being alone. Silence stops feeling heavy. Your own presence becomes enough. This doesn't mean you've closed your heart. It means your heart is no longer empty. You enjoy solitude without needing distraction. You sit with your thoughts instead of escaping them. You no longer seek validation to feel worthy, and this inner stability changes everything. God does not send healthy love to someone who believes they need it to survive. He sends it to someone who can receive it without dependency. You stop settling for crumbs. You stop tolerating emotional neglect. You stop chasing potential, and not because you're cold, but because you're whole. This stage is crucial. It's where self-respect replaces desperation. You realize love is not supposed to cost you your peace. You understand now that wanting companionship does not mean sacrificing your standards, and being alone feels better than being misunderstood. This is when love stops being a remedy and becomes a choice. God prepares you by teaching you that your worth is not determined by who stays or leaves. And once this lesson settles, you become magnetic in a way you never were before. Because you're no longer asking to be chosen, you already chose yourself. And when love comes, it won't feel like rescue. It will feel like recognition. 4. Your standards rise quietly, without apology. When God is preparing love, your standards don't rise loudly, they rise clearly. You stop explaining your boundaries. You stop justifying your expectations. You stop lowering yourself to be understood. You choose peace over potential. This shift isn't ego. It's emotional maturity rooted in self-awareness. You no longer confuse effort with love. You no longer accept words without consistency. And you don't feel guilty for wanting depth. Your tolerance for emotional games disappears. You value honesty over charm, presence over promises, and you realize that real love doesn't require confusion to feel real. God elevates your standards to match what's coming. The version of you that once would have settled could not hold the love being prepared. Waiting feels different now. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels aligned. You don't rush. You don't force. You trust. And this trust becomes the foundation of what's next. 5. Time slows, control releases, and faith takes over. The final sign God is preparing love is surrender. You stop watching the clock. You stop asking when. You stop forcing timelines. Instead, you trust, not blindly, but peacefully. You understand now that love arrives when both souls are ready, not when desire demands it. You accept that timing is part of the blessing, not the delay. You feel calmer about the future, more grounded in the present, And this calm isn't resignation, it's faith. God doesn't rush what he's protecting. If you're here, love is already in motion. And when it arrives, it won't feel rushed. It won't feel confusing. It will feel like home. If you're seeing these signs, you're not behind, you are being prepared. God doesn't delay love. He deepens it before delivery. He heals what would sabotage it. He removes what would compete with it. And he strengthens you so that when love arrives, it doesn't break you. It builds with you. What's meant for you will recognize the version of you that has done the work. And when it comes, you won't question it. You'll feel peace where there used to be longing. If this message resonated with your heart, you're not here by accident. Subscribe to this channel for deep emotional clarity, spiritual confirmation, and intuition-led guidance for love and divine timing. New videos are posted to remind you that what's meant for you will never miss you, and love prepared by God always arrives right on time.